In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can unlock your superpowers by doing these 5 things. Hello there and welcome back to the 33 Chandeliers channel, the channel that focuses on all things self-development, spirituality and mental mastery. And as I mentioned in the description, we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to unlock your superpowers. So just a brief description, brief introduction. Why is this important and what are superpowers? Well, we currently live in a world where our attention is diverted by several different things. There's attention on the news. There's distractions on, alcohol, sexual images, social media, many things that are causing our attention to be diverted and ultimately not live a purposeful life. So by focusing on ourselves and improving and unlocking on these superpowers, we can ultimately divert our attention in a more focused way to live a purposeful life and the life that we have always wanted to live. So the ways in which these superpowers enable us to live that purposeful life and our dream life, there's a few different ways. So superpowers, when I say this, I don't mean you're going to get up and just, start flying in the sky, stuff like that. But I mean more of an internal superpower and which will basically project out onto your external world. You'll start seeing these huge differences. So for example, your mental clarity will have significantly improved. Making decisions, you won't be in this fog within your head. You'll be remembering things easier. You'll be more decisive, more confident. And this wears off onto people around you. They'll see you. People will often come up to you saying, there's something different about you, but I can't figure out what. Okay? Other superpowers, you'll just have a natural vibe, an aura about you that will attract people around you. But if you're a man, particularly women will come up to you. They'll just be more attracted to you just subconsciously. They won't be able to tell why, but there'll just be something within you that will attract them, bring them closer towards you. You'll attract more synchronicities into your life. And synchronicities are things that will happen to you naturally. So you may be thinking of a particular thing in your head. Next thing you know, you walk out to the shops, that thing has happened. Or you meet the exact person at the exact right time that you needed in order to work on a certain project or do a certain task. These things will become so much, so normalized. They'll keep happening again and again and again. And not only that, you'll have the mental resilience where you'll be unshakable, unfazed by any life situation. And this one is, if anything, the most key of them all. Imagine being in a situation where there's a load of chaos. Everyone's running around, screaming, not knowing what to do. But you're in such a perfect state of mental balance, such, unfazed, unbreakable, that you're not even panicked out, you're completely calm. And you're able to execute yourself and find a solution, even in those most stressful, chaotic times. People will look up to you as a leader. They'll see this person so calm, so unfazed, always finding a solution. And you will ultimately be leading by example. So let's delve into these 5 steps. So imagine like this. Rather than having an A4 sheet of paper with all scribblings and all writing and all clutter on, you're ultimately getting a clean white sheet of A4 paper to basically start again, act out from a new pattern. So how do we do meditation? Obviously, the most simple way to do meditation is by following the breath in and out with your eyes closed. So you'd breathe deep into the belly and follow the breath all the way up to the top of the head and then follow it back down on the out breath. This can be quite difficult for most people as we're not used to meditating. After all, it's not taught in schools, it's not taught anywhere really. It is becoming a bit more mainstream now, but still it's difficult for some people. So I would strongly recommend getting used to the practice of breathing in and out with your eyes closed, even if you try it for a few minutes and then build it up a minute per day, per week. But there are some alternative ways you can do it as well. Just anything that gets you into a flow state, gets you into that active presence where you're not thinking about anything else, is also a form of meditation. So if you enjoy football, you go play football and you're not thinking about anything, that is a way of getting presence. That could be a way to start. Do something that you love that gets you in a flow state, but then it is strongly recommended to actually do the meditation practice itself. So that's step number 1, meditation. Step number 2 is fasting. Fasting is becoming a bit more popular these days. There's different variations. There's intermittent fasting, where you perhaps don't eat for 16 hours a day and you'll only eat in designated times. So you may eat 12 p.m. till 8 p.m. and then not eat the rest of the time. The version of fasting that I would recommend is when you go a day, 2 days, 3 days without eating anything at all. You can do a complete water fast. So this means, like as I said, you just don't eat anything for a day, you just drink water. You could obviously increase to 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever feels good after. This is good because basically it releases all the toxins in your body. So in an ideal world, it does take 3 days to release all the toxins. But obviously when you're first starting out, you could start off by doing half a day, increase it to a day, 2 days, and then work your way up. So all the stuff we eat, the coffees we drink, the foods that we eat, is obviously, a lot of it can be toxic if it's unhealthy foods. And the cells are basically absorbing all of this and it's killing them off. So what fasting does is release all the stuff, release all the toxins. So you, once again, similar to meditation, you have that clean sheet of white paper, A4 paper. So you're having like an in-body reset. And this in-body reset is then enabling you to function, from a place of purity, from a new beginning. And it also enables you to clear the mind out as well. Step number 3 is semen retention. Semen retention is the act of not releasing the semen. So this is for guys in particular, but women can do it too. But in particular for men, it's the act of not releasing any semen for an extended period of time. So some people try it for a couple of weeks, a month. Some people even go several months, and even some are known to do it for years. So this is obviously a process that will take some time and adaptation to, especially if you're not used to doing this. And it can be done in 2 different ways, actually. The one is the act of completely, abstaining from any sexual intercourse, masturbation, anything like that, just completely avoiding that. Or 2, there is a different way which is more difficult. For example, in tantric practices, they still enable you to have the sexual practice, but you just don't release the semen itself. This is obviously more complex, and you will have to do your own research on this because that is a whole new topic in itself, and maybe I'll talk about it in another video. But they're ultimately the 2 ways. So 1, you can either completely abstain from sexual practices, or 2, you can still have it but just not release the semen in a more, like I say, complex way. This is important because ultimately semen is the creation. It creates another human being. So imagine how powerful this must have to be for your body to release something like that. You're literally releasing and creating a new human by doing that. And by releasing it, the body is drained. It's, that's why often people need to have a sleep after having sexual intercourse, masturbation, stuff like that, because your body's working in overdrive to release this creation force. So ultimately, the benefit of keeping this within you and channeling up to your head, which can be done through breathing practices if you feel aroused. So if you feel aroused, you just channel the energy up to the top of the head by breathing deeply and fully to the top. And what you're ultimately doing is recycling that sexual energy, that sexual force within you, to use it for more creative reasons and channel it to other areas in the body rather than releasing it outwards. So if something this powerful can create another human being when it's released, imagine what it can do if it's recycled within you. Imagine how creative you can be if it's within you. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is prayer. Now, prayer is interlinked with meditation and fasting as well. Obviously, there's all sorts of different things like religious, different prayers for different religions and things like that. But ultimately, you could, depending on your religion and your faith, you can choose to do the prayers for that particular religion, or you could even do your own prayers, which is a way of connecting to something higher. You could just do something like expressing your gratitude, things you're grateful for, and just using it as a way to connect to something higher from a place of purity. So you don't have to specifically memorize a certain script as they do in certain religions, but just be sure to connect to something higher than yourself, expressing gratitude and making it a way to connect with that higher being. Now, why is prayer important? Well, one, similar to meditation and fasting, it is basically cleansing what's within you. So all those thoughts that you're having throughout the day that may be toxic or not so pleasant, one, it's releasing all of that to get you into a clean slate again. But two, it's also raising your inner vibration by connecting to something higher than yourself. By expressing words of gratitude, you're raising your vibration within. So then not only would your thoughts after that be positive, you're feeling more energized, and then you're more likely to attract certain things into your life that are in alignment with that. Now on to step number 5 is nature. Connecting with nature. So this can involve things like going into nature, going for walks, maybe having a picnic in the fields, even connecting with animals, dogs, cats, squirrels, whatever you see. Now this, once again, is clearing your mind. You're getting into a present state similar to meditation and fasting. And by doing this, you're just enjoying what is. Secondly, nature, like animals and also plants like trees and everything, they also have this, this pure way of being. They also vibrate at a different level. And when you're connected to that, you're more likely to experience synchronicities. Because you don't see animals or plants gossiping or having toxic thoughts. They're just being in their pure vibration. And when you're surrounded in this vibration, you will also pick up upon these energies and it will impact you as well. So you can, like I say, do things like go into nature, go for walks, go for runs, go for picnics. Just, enjoy time playing with any pets, any animals you see in the wild, obviously within reason. And this will raise your vibration even more so. So there we have the 5 ways that you can unlock your superpowers. Remember that everyone's journey is obviously different and unique, and it's going to be slightly different for every single person. But if you follow at least the basic foundation of these 5 things that I mentioned, adapt it based on your own style, obviously, then ultimately you will get these superpowers. Like, as I mentioned, these life will start flowing better. You'll start experiencing things at the right time. Things will turn up to you. You'll think about them and they'll just turn up without you even realizing. So synchronicities, that's a big thing. So by following these 5 steps, you'll get literally superpowers. People will start becoming more attracted to you. You're living from a place of purity. Your mental clarity will be more developed. You'll start remembering things without even having to try. You might not remember names. All of a sudden you're remembering names. Just life will start flowing better. You'll feel more powerful, more confident. You'll feel, you won't feel heavy as you would do if you've eaten a load of toxic junk food. People look at you differently and you'll feel differently, which is the most important. You're ultimately becoming a new person because you're getting rid of all that old stuff within you and you're presenting yourself in a new way. So these are the 5 ways that you can ultimately unlock those superpowers. Thanks for listening, and if this has resonated with you, be sure to take action and also share it with anyone else that you may think will benefit from this video.